Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event with your hosts, Andrei Arlovsky and
and the Guru back for the first time here with Andrei Arlovsky back again. New year, same ridiculous us. Same Apex cards, apparently. We are back in the Apex. We've got Magomed Ankalaev. Didn't we have this fight already, too? We've got Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker, the rematch, because, the first time wasn't good enough with the no contest. And where are you? I'm in the desert. Wonderful. Johnny
Where
Walker.
are you?
But before this show's off the rails, but before we can completely caravan off the ravine, we got to introduce our unbelievable guest, everybody's favorite uncle. If you're not already following him, I don't know what the hell you're doing. He produces some of the best content in the game. He's out there with some of the most content in the game. Go check him out on patreon.com/Uncle Weezy. We've got Uncle Weezy. What's up, brother?
I'm doing good, you guys. I'm ready for fights to kick back off here in 2024. I'm looking forward to having a great year here. I've been building some new products behind the scenes during the off weeks here to start taking advantage of some of these markets that aren't bet on as much. For instance, the prize picks and the underdog plays where we've got significant strikes, takedowns, and fantasy score totals that we can bet on because things are getting a little bit weird out there, you guys. It's not just, Andrei Arlovsky taking his 56th pro fight. It's the fact that, Phil Hawes versus Bruno Ferreira's fight doesn't go to decision props, opening up at minus 1,400. Gene Silva versus Weston Wilson's fight doesn't go to decision props, opening up at minus 1,600. So some of these markets are getting a little bit risk averse, and some of these openers are flat out insulting to the gambling market. So I'm looking to branch out. Find some new plus EV things to bet on here, as well as doing what I've always done, which is try to beat these bookies with a bag of oranges until we juice those oranges and then just enjoy a nice, cool glass of orange juice while we count our money.
Oh, man, it doesn't get any better than that. Wheezy already gave out my two best bets for the show, so I'm probably just done. You got my fight doesn't go for those.
You parlayed the 1,400 and minus 1,600. You got 8.5 units to win one. Let's go, baby.
Let's slow
it down. These are the plays they came here for.
It's a short-term investment. You're going to get your money back. But no, seriously, before we actually completely let it get off the rails, there's one thing I'm going to ask of you guys. First thing, appreciate everyone that comes here weekly or even just one time so much. Without, the audience and you amazing people in the community, me and Guru would just be talking to ourselves like we used to. So truly, it's amazing. And to have great people like Wheezy who really are amazing handicappers and great people as well. That's what we bring to Chronic Combat. It's the best bets, the best guests, always free. We're coming with a new focus in 24. This boy's graduated. Guru's locked in as always. And we're ready to get after it, quite frankly. So Wheezy, let's get this party started. I know you've been waiting all these weeks to get back to Mega Mind Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Blue Label Walker. This is going to be a great matchup.
Why Blue Label?
I don't know if he's Black Label. I haven't seen the title, like once he earns the title, he's Black Label,
That's double black.
Well, you're lucky that I didn't actually put like my TB nicknames on the graphic.
I see it.
I had it there and then I took it away. I was like, you know what? I'll just say it. I don't want to show the people the whole time. Then they'll steal my amazing nicknames. So minus 550 Ankalaev, somehow even wider line than the last time they fought. Plus 410 Johnny Walker. I mean, I get it. There's a reason why I picked Magomed Ankalaev the last fight, why I found a degenerate way to parlay him. I feel like something greasy and disgusting is going to happen this time again. It's like,
how does it get more how does it get more greasy and disgusting than last time?
Multiple fouls. We go 5 rounds to a decision. There's something disgusting is going to happen. I just don't feel comfortable, but go back, listen to our analysis when we broke this down last time. Quite frankly, I mean, like Magomed Ankalaev is my pick, but Johnny Walker, he's just too gigantic, explosive. That flying knee that he faked the body shot where he's like, oh, I'm hurt, call an ambulance, and then all of a sudden he's like flying in your face with a knee. So Johnny Walker, I know that turned into a takedown for Ankalaev, but Walker was on his way back to his feet. What if Ankalaev isn't liking the leg kicks that he's getting? Because Walker starts off with the leg kicks right off the bat. Ankalaev seems to be checking them decently, but I think Ankalaev is probably going to want to play it more on the safe side here. We saw him go to the wrestling game. I'm going to pick Ankalaev here, but Guru, what did you feel might happen in this fight?
Well, so one of the interesting things about the last fight, obviously, is kind of how it was all playing out in terms of they were kind of chilling on the feet a little bit until Magomed was able to get that takedown finally, right, in an exchange where he finally pushes him up against the cage there, and then where he starts landing those illegal strikes where he obviously didn't need to. Why you said, oh, and somehow the line is wider. I mean, I think it's wider because people saw how the first 4 minutes of that fight were going. It really wasn't. I mean, yeah, it was close enough on the feet because for whatever reason, Magomed Ankalaev loves to be a close on the feet point fighter. How I see this fight going is kind of where that fight was already headed. You kind of would have expected more violence. You kind of would have expected, right, something bigger. But I think it's going over 1.5. I think these boys take their time. I think Magomed does eventually find a finish. I'm not convinced it's going to continue to like go the distance like these Johnny Walker fights kind of have lately, right? The Anthony Smith fight standing out in particular, and you know what it is. It doesn't matter how much time goes by; it still feels like that Thiago Santos fight was yesterday because of how much PTSD that was. But I'm not getting caught going crazy here. There's no reason to have major exposure on this fight. I don't care that they made it the main event. Doesn't really matter to me. If you looked at the UFC 299 card, like what's that fight? RDA Gamrot? That sounds like a fucking UFC Vegas main event. So that you could just alternate this fight with that fight. Like you don't need to go crazy just because this is the main event, and I'm not going to. So I like the over 1.5. That's it. Parlay Magomed Ankalaev if you feel like being a complete degen, but you don't have to listen to a betting show to tell you that. Uncle Weezy, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think the over 1.5 is the play here. 3 of these guys, 4 fights that were scheduled for 5 rounds did go over 1.5. And like you said, when you look at Ankalaev being a notoriously low volume counter striker, only attempting 7.88 distance strike attempts per minute spent at distance, that is 2.04 less than the divisional average. Actually, Johnny Walker's the same. He's only attempting less than 8 as well. So these guys are low volume. They're a little bit low volume. They're counter strikers. They're going to wait for their openings. And I think that this one will go over 1.5. Ankalaev's one of these guys that's like, he's 18-1. He's almost if you count the loss as being just like a complete fluke, this guy could be undefeated in his career. And he's a very smart, low volume. He knows what he's good at, but I just feel like he could be so much better than what he is if he actually wrestled, which he doesn't really. Only 32 takedown attempts in 12 UFC fights. This guy, when he gets on top of dudes, he's an absolute menace. So I'd like to see him wrestle more. I'd like to see him throw more, do more. But when I want somebody to do more and they don't, bet the over.
Yeah,
nice.
You're 100% right. I love that, and it makes me feel more confident in my read of the over 1.5. I did lay 3 units over on FanDuel because FanDuel had it at -156. So I laid 3 to win 2. And
that's a lot of unitage on the main event. You said,
or did I do?
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think I did 1.5 to win 1. I think I made that up.
Yeah, that I would feel much better about for you. I was gonna say it seems like a 1.5, not a 3 on my scaling. I would say
it's exactly what I did. I did
nice.
I did an exact 1.5 to win.
Okay,
2.
good.
I mean,
good. I was gonna say that didn't sound like you. That didn't sound like you.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, are you okay? Do I need to check your temperature?
I just wanted to sound cooler than I am, but
fair enough. I appreciate you. That's why we call each other out, because we always hold each other accountable. Now, shout out to the people here. A couple things to get to before we move on to our next fight. Why is Orlovsky doing a breakdown show and he's got a fight to focus on this week? Come on, Pitbull, focus and get the money. Here's what I got to say. The allegations are, listen, I'm not getting my win bonus, so I got to make money some other ways. We got to win some fucking bets this week.
Dude, have you ever watched the Andre Arlovsky-Travis Brown fight? Like, I feel like that's a fight you probably would never have seen.
Yeah. That's one of those crazy ones that they have, like, always playing back on, like, the free fight stuff.
Oh, so you have seen it? All right.
Yeah. Oh, come on. You think I don't remember my own fights?
He's he's a plus 300 dog in that fight. That's so stupid.
Professor Chaos, appreciate you for joining the show. Grateful dude. We're grateful for you. Very grateful post here. Yeah, best of luck this year and this weekend. All to the same to the rest of the chat. So we're gonna move right along here, but before we do, I should point out we used to have a beautiful statistical display that had some, like, more Excel based stuff, but TB decided I need to do less time inputting stats and do more of TB scouting MMA. So I've been focusing a little bit more on some extra tape study, and Nate Latshaw does an amazing stat display on his website for Tell the Tape. You can kind of customize what you want to see. So the display you see here is what we've kind of curated to what we think is important in breaking down our fights. And we're going to continue. So if you have any feedback, Guru's going to give me feedback. So I put the slideshow together. Let me know what you think needs to be included or taken away. If you don't like the stats, if they don't look good, this is going to be a work in progress. So just wanted to shout out Nate Latshaw, does great work on Twitter. So we'll move along. We got our co-main event. Oh, baby, it's a banger. It's a Starboy. We got Matheus Nicolau versus Manel Starboy Kape. They don't even give Matheus Nicolau a nickname. It's Luana. It's Mr. Pinheiro for me. In this fight here, I think Mr. Starboy is going to make Mr. Pinheiro go home looking for Luana. Quite frankly, if he didn't come in off a knockout in his last fight to Brandon Royval, the line probably would be a little bit closer. But even all the same, Matheus Nicolau is kind of a guy that fights safe, tries to avoid getting into wars because, I mean, let's be frank, we've seen the guy eat a few chin shots and not really do so well with them. So it makes sense why he's so defensive, on the back foot, circling around. And Kape is kind of the same way. So in their first fight, he's coming over. He's still got the fucking ankle wraps on from Ryzen. Like, the dude is used to fighting in a fucking box. Now he's in an octagon. It was totally different. Second fight doesn't really show the same aggression. Now I feel like his grappling and wrestling are on a whole other level since getting to Extreme Couture about 4 fights ago. And quite frankly, it's just, I mean, Starboy is going to stun out here. I got minus 198. I tweeted you people about it on December 14th or December 17th, whenever I placed it. There's a couple bets I placed before the new year started. This was one of them. It was so clear, but I laid minus 240 also. I did it. I just had to keep on throwing money at Manel Kape. I don't see a way he doesn't finish Nicolau, but instead of taking the inside the distance, I'm treating it like a short-term investment. This is like my Vitor Bobby Petrino best bet of the card. I got it sub minus 200, but I bet Petrino at minus 250. So as long as we're not talking to minus 300, I'm cool with it. If it's the right matchup, you got to just hammer it home. So Manel Kape is my best bet of the week.
Yeah, I mean, they gave Manel Kape this fight for a reason. And right, they're not, to me, they're not doing Matheus Nicolau any favors. If anybody goes back and rewatches that fight, if you have any sort of real eye for MMA, I mean, you know who won that fight. Like, it really wasn't that close. Like, split decision's a little ridiculous. I mean, you look at all the media scores, it was unanimous for Kape. It was a robbery. There's really not much else to say. And we have to give the guy his credit. He makes his debut against Alexandre Pantoja. Like you said, he's coming from Ryzen. He's using ankle wraps. Why? Because he's used to wearing wrestling shoes in Ryzen because they let you do that. Then he decides as a close decision. He wins the third round versus Pantoja. So he has it's close. He's like, you know what? Fuck it. Steps in on short notice against Matheus Nicolau, wins the fight, but gets fucking robbed. So from there, he kind of, what you say, TV, he goes to Extreme Couture. And what I think he's done, it's not that his like wrestling or something has gotten so much better. He honestly was elite at grappling. He's really, really high level. What I think Eric Nixick has done has made the star boy shine, right? He's rounded out some of those edges that were more jagged out in Ryzen, right? He's really refining his technique over at Extreme Couture. They're perfectionists over there. They work really fucking hard. So what you're seeing from Manel Kape is I just don't think he's going to let this one slip away. He's not going to listen, he'll still showboat, and he's still going to be a little sketchy at times, right? You even saw that in the Felipe dos Santos fight where, I mean, he's beating the piss out of the guy, but he just won't stop. He still loses a round, but maybe not. But it was one judge gave it to him, right? And I didn't agree with that.
Listen, it was enough for Eric Nixick to say in the corner after round 2, like, you're better than this guy. You got to stay within yourself and counter.
Right.
So I get your point, but that's because where having Nick
you can
corner does.
You're right, because thank you, and you're right. And sorry to cut you off, but that's exactly it. He's a kind of a cocky guy, and you can get in his head. You can start fucking with his ego. But I think in this fight, he's all business, and he's going to take care of business. So give me Manel Kape here. Parlay him to your house. And yeah, why not take him by finish at plus 140?
Yeah, I went with Kape by knockout at plus 215 when that opened. I got Manel as my Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week this week, as a matter of fact.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. You know, he's gonna have to find Matheus, though. That's not gonna be easy because Matheus uses every inch of that cage to run. I mean, he really runs, and the reason he does is because, you know, TB, you said it, this fight comes down to durability. That's really why Kape's minus 278 and Nicolau is plus 225. It's about durability. These guys are really good boxers, both of them. I mean, Nicolau's a great counter striker. Kape is a great counter striker. Neither one of these guys are what I would call massive volume strikers, especially Nicolau. But they're both below average for the division in terms of their output. So they both prefer to counter. But it's just that the optics of Nicolau kind of skirting around the outside of the cage, I don't like that. Manel will be the aggressor here. But, you know, now that they've already fought once, I think he realizes, you know, like, I'm more durable than this guy. I can force the action and not necessarily have to worry about the consequences of getting knocked out. I just got to stay within myself and not get taken down. That's the most important thing, is that if Kape's 78% takedown defense continues to hold up at that rate, you know, he's going to win this fight because he's going to be landing the bigger shots. And Nicolau is just not a guy that can take a punch in this weight class. So I think it's going to be a difficult night for him to find success with the wrestling, holding down a guy like Kape, who's very aggressive with his BJJ and he's got a pretty good get-up game as well. So, yeah, I'm looking for Kape to win and win by KO here.
Yeah, listen, three losses on Matheus Nicolau's professional record. They are all by round 1 knockout.
Yes, sir.
I think it's very live here. I think you've got to take a dart throw, a sprinkle on the round 1 KO for Kape, because
and Kape's got a fucking chip on his shoulder right now, you guys.
People
are pulling out of fights. You know, like he had that Alex Perez fight where he pulled out on the day of the fight. You know, and then he was supposed to fight somebody else, and then Dos Santos stepped in for that guy.
5 people.
Kape France, right?
He had Sumandarji, Rogério Bontorin finally gets to fight Dvorak. Perez pulls out. Figueiredo canceled fight. Kai Kara France canceled fight.
This guy's got a chip on his shoulder. He's like a dog on a leash. Like, they're gonna let him off that leash on Saturday, and I think he's gonna be shaving ass on Saturday, man.
He only got to fight once last year. What the fuck?
Yeah. He wanted to fight so much more than that. He feels like people are ducking him, and I think he might be right about that.
And that's why I took a shot on Manel Kape to be champion at the end of 2024 here. And I got it at plus 1,400. So I was really happy to take a little half-unit shot on that. And to me, it's this fight. If he gets his first-round knockout that we're talking about, it's very possible that he could supersede or usurp a Brandon Moreno Albazi title shot. Because that's it. That's the matchup. Because otherwise it's Kai Kara France, who I don't know is injured. I don't know where he's at. But after Manel wins, he's going to scream into that mic about Car France and title shots and craziness.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I love it. I love that when your best bet coincides with the ass shaving, man, it doesn't feel good. So we're moving on here. We've got A10 Jim Miller versus Gabriel Mowgli Benitez. So was very curious why this opened as Jim Miller, like plus 110, plus 120. Benitez as the slight favorite. I just didn't really understand it, quite frankly. So overall, Mowgli Benitez, he loves being controlled. He's got really bad takedown defense, and he doesn't have the best striking defense or chin. The dude has amazing calf kicks, amazing body kicks, but doesn't that just leave him open to getting a kick caught and having his back taken?
Counters.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Quarantillo gets a TKO on his back. Now, I don't think Jim Miller is necessarily as like athletic or overall at this stage of his career the same guy as like a Billy Q, but what I can take away from it is like Jim Miller has shown improvement in the striking all throughout his career. I know he's facing absolute bums the last few times, but at the same moment, he also has shown like the ability to land some calf kicks against a guy like Poirier. He's shown the ability other times to submit like high level profile fighters. Like, well, I guess Clay Guida's not that hard to submit, but basically the moral of the story is that Jim Miller's been in there against everybody, and now you're giving him Mowgli Benitez. And you gave us plus money on Jim Miller. It just seemed like a no-brainer. I got like 2.5 units, Jim Miller plus 110 and plus 100 spread out over a couple bets.
Yeah, I got plus 114 and plus 100 as well. About 2 units there. It's, you know what it is? It's that whoever is just, if you're looking at just the paper, right, and you don't actually know these guys, you're like, oh, well, he's 3 years younger, 4 years younger, and he's a little bit bigger. I mean, they're basically the same size, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know where you.
I don't know. You see that paunch on Jim Miller? He might be bigger. Look at that. Look at that. That's like TB style right there.
Yeah, that's why. Listen, one thing about Jim Miller is that he is 4 of his last 5 dubs, wins, finishes, right? And
what? I'm sorry. Can I hear that again?
Jim Miller, 4 of his last 5 dubs, wins, finishes.
What's different between a dub and a win?
Nothing.
Okay, well, that's what confused me. That's why I needed to hear it again. Sorry.
All right. So Jim Miller had a knockout of the year contender in my mind. The way he put Jesse Butler to sleep is fucking amazing. One of the best knockouts I've ever seen. It really gets overshadowed just because there's so much MMA content now. But Bisping is talking about how Jesse Butler has a lot of experience and not necessarily to be taken lightly. And as he's saying that, the dude is asleep, standing up, like he's on a park bench or something. Crazy. So Jim Miller still got it. And he's fighting at UFC 300. It's going to happen. So he's going to crack this guy. He's going to get a win. And I don't know, put him against like fucking Matt Brown or something. Matt Brown, a welterweight or lightweight?
I mean, that's a terrible idea.
Welterweight. Nah, terrible.
That's a terrible idea.
Terrible
I
idea.
appreciate your thoughts, but like,
that kind of fight, some sort of legacy fight. We'll figure it out for him.
Well, we got A10. What is Wheezy got here?
I'm picking A10 as well. You know, for me, this kind of comes down to the recent form, right? I mean, we haven't seen Mowgli Benitez in 1 year and 5 months, right? And layoffs, when you're in your early 20s, sometimes a layoff's a good thing. Dude, when you're 35, a year and a half layoff, that's a bad thing, you know? Trust me, I'm 50. I told these cats before the show started, I'm falling apart like a Chinese motorcycle. I've had 2 colds in the last 2 months that usually should hang around for like 3 days. They're hanging around for like 3 weeks, you know? So Mowgli had to pull out of a fight for undisclosed reasons. We don't know what it was. I believe it was a Jim Miller fight, actually.
It was. I was just about to bring that up. I didn't even realize that had happened. They're not letting Mowgli Benitez escape this matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because he's been out for over a year. So that layoff is huge. Miller has fought 4 times in the same period of time where Mowgli's only fought twice. You know, so I think Miller's in better form right now. We know he's the better submission grappler too. But the problem is, the reason I haven't touched the fight is Jim Miller doesn't wrestle. 21 takedowns in 28 fights. He kind of initiates grappling exchanges when things get chaotic. It's not going to be like a single leg in the center of the cage where he kind of drops you down. He passes, he gets to your back. That's not, it's always somebody getting served. And then he just grabs the back or the neck. He just snatches it up opportunistically. But if he just stays at distance with Benitez and kickboxes with this dude, I think Benitez is the better kickboxer. I think we all know that. But what we don't know is, why was this guy out for a year and a half at the age of 35? Right. He was getting his ass shaved by fucking Charlie Oliveras before he realized, what, I better take this dude down. He's younger, he's faster, he's longer than me. So yeah, I mean, I'm going with Miller here, and I like him to win by second round submission. I think he finds something opportunistic in the chaos where he can get to the neck of Gabriel and do what he does best, which is strangulate dudes. And he does it very often. I think he's going to do it in this one. But I always worry when I want Miller to grapple, I have to keep it in my mind. This guy's not going to be out there shooting blast doubles or singles or, going out there and wrestling. He's going to try to find his grappling opportunities in the chaos.
Right. You make such an excellent point about that. And that's why you truly are one of the best in the game. And it highlights exactly what happened in Jim Miller's fight before Jesse Butler. They were giving him favorable matchups, and they tried to sneak fucking Alexander Hernandez in there. What the fuck is that, man? Why are you doing my boy like that? And Jim Miller doesn't give a fuck. He goes pound for pound with Alexander Hernandez, and he loses based on not on pace, but just on damage, which is just him being a sick fuck. He's like, I didn't hear no bell, basically. And if you watch that fight to the end, the bell saves Alexander Hernandez. He's about to get choked out. So, and to your, you know what I mean? So he's not going for takedowns, but he's still against Alexander fucking Hernandez, a top 15 guy on his best day, is about to choke him out. So I really do think that he's going to finish Mowgli Benitez as long as he doesn't do something supremely stupid.
Yeah, I think he can hurt him first on the feet. I think his boxing is decent enough, and he's not giving up size. And also, like we keep on
ask Jesse Butler about his boxing.
I don't think Jesse Butler can talk yet.
Yeah, dude, didn't they try booking him for a fight a month after?
They had him booked.
Yeah, but that was about to be a Jared Gordon situation.
That was exactly the Jared Gordon situation.
Wait. 2 months later, they had him booked against Sean Woodson. And then in November, they had him booked against Jekka Saragi, and he pulled out of that one too.
Wow. So, yeah, Jekka would have knocked him cold too.
Yeah, for sure.
If round one, Alexander Hernandez didn't knock out Jim Miller, I'm not worried about Mowgli Benitez. Next.
No.
All right. We got
talk about it.
Guru, you're gonna keep cutting us off the rest of the night. What's going on here? Chill out. Oh God, you killing me. This happened 4 times in a row. My God, I'm trying to get a word in edgewise here to set up the fight, and then you'll have your time. I'll let you take the first on this, actually. We got Ricky Simon Vato versus Mario and Luigi Bautista. Guru, what do you got here?
Nothing. No. this is
son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
This is an unbelievable fight, right? You've got Ricky Simon coming in off of his first ever main event and a loss to Song Yadong in a kind of a one-sided fight, a bit of a beatdown, although he does win round one on one scorecard, right? Not really. Not with it was really close. It was really close. He didn't win round one, but it was really close. And you've got Mario Bautista coming in. Was supposed to fight Cody Garbrandt, gets a quick switch of opponents in Damon Blackshear, who sets a UFC or ties a UFC record with quick turnarounds within a week. And man, is that a close fight too. Bautista wins 2 and 3, but man, I think Blackshear on a full camp maybe gives him a lot more trouble, but maybe on a full camp preparing for each other, it's a different fight. Very close, very fun, interesting matchup. I'm on Ricky Simon here. And the reason at the end of the day I felt was there's a certain level of competition here that Bautista hasn't faced. And if you're not the type of striker that is going to really damage and hurt and apply that crazy pace and pressure back to Ricky while also stuffing takedowns at a high rate, you're not going to win. He is almost like Marab in his relentlessness. His top control could be a little bit better, and his damage from top control could be a little bit better. But who doesn't want that from volume wrestlers? So unless you're Khabib. So I've got Ricky Simone here. I got in early. I got in at 3 units at minus 150. I feel like we're such jerks for keep telling early lines. Listen, but we lay them on Pickett. We lay them on BetMMA the best we can. Hopefully you're and Patreon. Hopefully you're getting us, when we say this, so we don't have to feel that way all the time. I'm talking about Wheezy on Patreon.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad. Okay.
Including all of us in the collective in the conversation.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Making sure.
No, we're not on Patreon yet. No, I don't think we ever will be. But I like Ricky Simone. I think he gets it done. Levels fight. Bautista's got to take it to him. I mean, how does he get it done, right? Is he getting a knockout finish? I mean, it took Song Yadong 5 rounds. Uriah Faber got lucky. I mean, come on, man. Rob Font, that's a really tough fight. Long jab, hurting him with that. So I don't think Batista has that in him. So give me Ricky. What do you guys got?
All right, Wheezy, you go ahead. What are you picking here?
Yeah, I'm picking Ricky. I'm not betting him though. I think Batista's good, man. I think he's a good fighter. And, I think there's a lot being made of the strength of schedule disadvantage that Bautista has here because it's clear Ricky's fought the better dudes. He's more experienced. He's fought the better guys. He's going to be the better wrestler here without a doubt. But on the feet, it's going to be close. And it's going to be up to Ricky to push that pace. He's the Mexican Marab. Hang on, this guy can push a pace as good as anybody in the division. And the fact that he beat Marab, he beat him in that 3rd round. He out-wrestled Marab Dvalishvili in round 3 when most people are begging to go to the hospital already because they're completely exhausted. This guy, Ricky Simone, not only was matching him, but he actually got the takedown. He got the dominant position. He got to the mounted guillotine, and he, the way that fight ended was very strange, but the lesson to be learned was that this guy matched the cardio, pace, and wrestling of Marab Dvalishvili. So it's going to be up to Ricky to push that pace, to get this dude up against the cage, to make him wrestle, to drag him into the kind of fight that really benefits him. Because if he doesn't do that, Mario's younger, he's longer, he's definitely more explosive at distance, I think. While Simon's got the better power numbers, that jump knee that Bautista will kind of walk you into sometimes can absolutely end anybody's night if it lands. And Bautista's grappling, he's got a very good get-up game when he does get taken down. And when he's on top, dude, he's good. I think he might be the better top control grappler out of the two of these guys. Simon lets guys up, but Simon's great like for a DraftKings play because you want the kind of guy who lets the guy up and then takes him down again because you're getting that 5 points on DraftKings when you're only getting 0.4 for a significant strike. So, guys like Simon, they have to push the pace to be at their best. I'm picking him to do that. And I think that this fight might finish inside the distance as well.
See, that's an interesting play.
Yeah,
that's what you can find. Under 2.5 at plus 135. That's a lot of meat on the bone if that's how you feel.
Yeah. I was looking at the 140 and the 120 for Fight Doesn't Go. These guys have been finished in 5 of their 6 combined pro losses. And Simon's got power on the feet and a nasty grappling game, and Bautista the same thing. So I could see somebody finding a finish in this fight.
Yeah, I ultimately lean towards Simone and inside the distance, but because Fight Doesn't Go is going to be plus money or under 2.5 is going to be plus money, that's where I'm probably going to end up actually having a bet on this fight. I think Bautista's submission game is legit enough to give Simone problems if Simone, isn't having the success that he needs, like the clean success that he needs. Because if this stays at distance, like you can't tell me Mario Bautista is going to be like low output when this guy's landing, double the amount of strikes from distance that Ricky Simone's going to be landing. Now, he doesn't quite have the killer instinct, but at the same time, we've seen Ricky Simone put out by Uriah Faber, the 40-year-old Uriah Faber. Like,
Yes.
it doesn't take everything to finish Ricky Simone. That doesn't mean he's not a tough guy. That doesn't mean he doesn't have great cardio and that he's not improving, because his knockout power on the feet has improved in leaps and bounds. And then you see Mario Bautista, who cuts down way too much weight to 135. This guy will probably be at 145 in the future after his next loss, if I had to guess. I mean, the dude, you can see his cheekbones in the picture before he's even at his full weight cut. And then you see him on the scale, you're like, my God, is he good? And you're just like, all right, his facial structure. But still, I mean, the dude cuts a ton of weight. So he's 3 inches taller, but he's not getting any of that back in reach. He doesn't have the killer instinct of the general person that puts out Ricky Simone.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that Ricky's boxing in the pocket on the feet is going to be the end of Mario Bautista's night. But you're giving me plus money on the fight to end inside the distance when Ricky's been finished plenty on his own. I think that's where my play lies, is just avoid the side, take the plus money, and hope for the finish, because either guy's capable here. I think Bautista is a really good fighter. It's just a bad matchup. It's a bad matchup. He's not built for a muscle hamster that's going to keep coming.
Yeah, like that is the truth. I mean, I think you're right. He is probably the better striker on the feet if it's like a kickboxing fight, right? But I'm just not sure that he's gonna I just don't know that he's gonna finish him on the feet per se, unless it's like you said, like some sort of flying knee. And then in terms of the submissions, he's got one submission loss. It was his first ever loss in 2016. Like, I'm just not sure that he's gonna be able to replicate that.
That's fair. Simon says it's Simone.
It's Simone for sure.
yeah.
Oh,
Ricky
yeah. Simone is definitely the correct pronunciation.
He
But
says calls him
I'm
Simon.
sick and I'm lazy. So Simon, when you accentuate the first syllable, it's just easier to say. So I like Simon. But yeah, Simone Way.
Yes.
We know what that means.
Yes.
You know?
Thank
How about
you.
this? How about
Easy
this?
meta culture.
You win this fight, and we'll never mispronounce your name again. So go get it done for us.
Oh God. All right, sick. Love it. You guys are great. All right, here we go. We got No Hype. Phil No Hype Hawes versus the Hulk, Bruno Ferreira. Oh my God. This fight is just the absolute biggest meme that I've ever seen. Yeah, we're talking about that whey, and I don't mean protein whey. Asa whey. If you don't know what that means, you need to go work in the kitchen for a little bit and come back.
Yes,
to me,
you
right?
do.
Yeah,
That's where you really learn, man. That's where you really learn.
Oh, I am the translator at my job because of the time I spent working in the restaurant. Anyways, Phil Hawes, Bruno Ferreira, this was a meme made in heaven. No matter what happens here, it's going to be fucking hilarious. Someone's dying, or it's going to be the sloppiest fight goes the distance that you've ever seen. So strap in. This fight is full-blown AIDS. Be careful what you do with it. And just be careful. I personally took the plus money shot on Bruno Ferreira a few weeks ago. Plus 114. Ferreira. At plus 114, I got him. So I was like, listen, I'm happy to get on the guy with power against the guy. It's not no hype. It's Phil no chin Hawes. But if you're the likes of Kyle Dawkins, if you're the likes of Nasruddin Imavov, where like your biggest power punch is like, a gentle love slap. Yeah, you have a chance to get decisionated by Phil Hawes. But Bruno Ferreira, I mean, the way that he steps through his combos, that's how he makes up for his reach disadvantage. It is so impressive to see the way that this guy smoothly switches southpaw, orthodox, throw a jab, step through with the left. That's how he catches everyone. It's because they think the combo's over, but he's just stepping on through. So I'm glad that the people agree. I think that's kind of my new outlook about how I look at fights. Like, listen, I'm trying to avoid infection over here. So we got to be careful when it comes to this. You got to just limit your exposure. I got $20 on Bruno Ferreira. That's one unit. Bruno Ferreira plus money. If you can't get it now, don't do it. Bet the fight to end by knockout. Fight doesn't go, whatever. It's fight to end by knockout. No one's getting a submission. And if it's a decision, it's Phil Hawes.
Yeah, we're looking for a little HIV positivity, not full-blown AIDS. So you got to stay careful.
You got to be careful.
So you got to be careful out there. I think Either way, you're right. I think so. I honestly think that this fight won't go the distance. I really do think somebody gets served, as Uncle Weezy would say. And I'm really hoping it is Phil Hawes because TB did make me get in with him on Bruno Ferreira when he was an underdog.
Yeah, I held his hand. I made him do the face ID. I made him enter the units. I held his finger down and placed the bet. I forced him this bitch.
Well, oh my God! Did you watch the Ted Bundy thing where he's like, "Come watch this video with me"? That's basically
do you want to watch the show?
He made me bet on Ferreira. Listen, I do think he gets it done. The way that Phil Hawes has been just put to sleep, it's bad. I was asked on Twitter, is it like, do you give any credence to the level of opponent? And I guess that's some level. It's a fair question, right? Ikram Aleskarov, Roman Dolidze, and Chris Curtis are understandably, a tier above Bruno Ferreira. But the problem is the issue is that the knockout power is not on a different level. If anything, it's on the same, if not a higher one. So it's a problem for Mr. Hawes. I don't expect him to last. His cardio is also an issue. 30, he's the older fighter at 35 years old. To Bruno's 31. I just don't think anything really works in his favor other than the reach. And TB already beautifully highlighted how Bruno's going to cut through that. So give me Bruno, and don't give me AIDS. What do you got, Uncle Weezy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not touching this one with a 10-foot pole. Let's face
Why
it.
not? Why not? Why not?
Yeah,
what happens if you touch it? What will happen if you touch it?
Because where will happen is that the money that I was touching when I made the bet will no longer be in my hands. It'll just be off into the vapor, And that's what's been happening because, this guy Hawes, you know what? And we have to go back a few years, right? We have to go back a few years to the Julian Marquez fight on Dana White's Contender Series, where Marquez punted his head outside of the apex all the way into Henderson, Nevada, which is close to Las Vegas, but it's a good long punt. It's like a Ray Guy type punts. For those of you who remember the 1980s Oakland Raiders, you'd see Ray Guy punting balls that went like 150 yards. The Hawes, and once you get a concussion that bad, the doctors tell you probably shouldn't be doing this anymore because the brain injuries only get worse from here on out. And then we've seen the Dolidze knockout after he got his knee torn up. That fight should have been stopped as soon as Herb Dean saw he was on one leg. Who cares if he wants to keep going?
Yeah, what was that?
I mean, the guy's fighting a professional killer on one leg. I mean, do we really know we know exactly what the result of this is going to be? He took an unnecessary knockout there. And then the knockout against Ankalaev was scary as well. And he's getting dropped by Kyle Dawkins. He's getting put on the stanky leg twice by Imavov. Hawes is better than this guy, but he just doesn't have a chin, so I can't bet on it. I think it's not going to go to decision. Well, thanks, Bet Online, minus 1,400. Thanks, pricks. Right here. So, I can't bet on that. So. Yeah, I'm going to sit back and enjoy it. This is going to be a fun fight, dude. These are two guys who hit really hard, and Hawes is a very explosive athlete. Hulky, which is what they call it. Whenever you watch the Brazilian tape, it's never Hulk. They always call him Hulky. I don't know why. I don't know why the Y goes on the end of Hulk. Maybe somebody that speaks Portuguese can tell me that. But it's a Hulky. And I'm like, wow, that's weird, But I actually picked Hawes. I think he's a good fighter. I think if he doesn't get touched on his chin, then I think he's better than this dude. But Pereira's good. He switches stances. He's a good kickboxer, like TB was saying. He's smooth with the way that he sets up his power strikes. So it's going to be a fun fight, and your Uncle Weezy isn't going to have a dime on it. And no matter who wins, I'm going to be able to laugh my ass off when one of these guys is lifeless on the canvas when it's over.
So smart, man.
Stay very light if you're betting it.
Yeah,
I don't mind a dog. At this point, I don't mind a dog shot on Phil Hawes, though, truthfully.
Should I arb it?
Honestly, that's how I mean, I know because you really can't get him as a dog anywhere else. So I mean, in that respect, we did our job, but it's just like I would not be surprised at all to have a losing ticket.
I agree. Listen, before we move on to the prelim section of the card, very important. Got to make sure all you people in here, absolutely electric community. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. That guy can punt. Shout out to punters, baby. And that's what you get, the cross-sport references. You get everything on Chronic Combat. So if you haven't thrown a like, make sure you throw a like. If you haven't subscribed, why not? We're a good time. We don't cost you anything. And if you're really crazy, you can always like super chat or join the channel as a member, chronic cushioneer, like filling out grandma's couch cushions so that we could throw some crazy props. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be free content. We're going to give you the best guests. I mean, look, we got Uncle Weezy to kick off the year. I don't think it gets any better. So we got Andre Arlovsky versus Pitbull Arlovsky versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. I know Guru hasn't looked yet. So so yeah, we got Andre Arlovsky. He's fighting this weekend. He made it. So
see, what actually would have been funny is if you put Andre TV Scouting MMA Arlovsky and had changed.
So I was going to do that. But this was just so much better.
No, now I have to look at your face twice.
No. Here, look. So I fixed it. So. we got my father, Andre the Real Arlovsky, TV Scouting MMA's long lost family. Actually, we're both from Belarus, so you never know. We could actually be like distant relatives. My family came over, during the Holocaust. You never know. So anyways, Andre the Pitbull Arlovsky versus Waldo Cortez Acosta, the Salsa Boy. Yeah, so listen, I mean, any other century or decade, I would tell you got to take Arlovsky here. You got to take him by split decision. I mean, he's getting knocked out by Cortez Acosta. And the funniest shit would be is if he gets submitted instead. And that's why you shouldn't bet this fight. So I think that there's like going to be a weekly bit here where it's like I spent too much time breaking down this card to not have a degen parlay. Like that's the name of the parlay. So Waldo Cortez Acosta, he is part of the I took way too much time to break down this card and not have a piece of it parlay.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. And I'm curious as to what the knockout line's actually going to be, because I think he's going to knock him out. And I think he does it in round 1 or 2. Because I'll be honest, I didn't think he was going to knock out Lucas Bresky, and he did. I thought that fight was going to
it's Dresky.
Dresky. I don't care. You've got to win at least. You've got to win at least 2 UFC fights for me to actually care about your name that much. Like you're not.
How do you fucking tell people that, hey, the name starts with a B? Don't tell me it's Dresky. Fucking put a D in the front of it if it's Dresky. Then don't give me that shit.
Whoa.
We brew. Yeah. See, this is why we put up TB's, Andre Scouting MMA. Appreciate you, brother. The Australian or the Kiwi coming through.
We'll put it on Andre Arlovsky as tribute. Thank you for the donation. Yeah.
He's like, can I take it back? Can I take it back?
We won't do that.
No. Seriously, appreciate you so much. It really means a lot because truly, like, we just love coming on Wednesdays and having a fucking amazing time breaking down the show. So, Kiwi Brew, I know you're out there on Twitter. If you have your Twitter handle, make sure you put it in the chat so that the peeps can follow you because you're a great dude. So, anywho, I'm sorry if I cut anyone off. Weezy, I think I cut you off because Kiwi was awesome. But did you have any final thoughts on this one before we get to more fulfilling endeavors?
Not really, guys. I'm not betting this one. I mean, I think the under 1.5 might have some legs this week. What I'm looking at here was what was interesting was where they opened. The fight doesn't go to decision, right? Because they opened it at minus 325. Andre Arlovsky has had only 7 of 23 fights since 2013 finish inside the distance, and for Cortez Acosta, it's only 1 of 4. So when the bookies open something at an implied probability, and an implied probability is just another word for price, right? At 76.47%. But we have a 27 fight sample size of 3-round fights between these two guys, and only 29% of their fights have finished inside the distance. Why is this priced at minus 325? Mm-hmm. And the answer is because Andre's getting knocked out in the first round. And the bookies know it, and they're trying to tease you into being like, dude, Arlovsky, all he has to do is dance around. No, man, he got knocked out by Dante Mays.
Yeah.
You could
Yes.
time that guy's overhand right on a sundial. So there's no way. There's no way that Waldo Cortez Acosta isn't going to go out, because Arlovsky is chinny, dude. He's 44 years old. He's almost 45 at this point.
Whoa. What the fuck, bro? No, I'm just kidding.
So, yeah,
Slandering me
man.
on my own show now.
No, geez.
Yeah, you're getting knocked out, TB. I'm sorry, but you know what? The check that they're going to give you, it's going to cash, and you'll be laughing when that money hits your bank account, baby. Let's go. But
all the
yeah,
way to the Hall of Fame too. And to
yes, sir. That's right. That's right.
To your point about the sundial, bro, he's fighting Dante Mays, and it goes into the corner, and Dante Mays' corner is like, "You're faster than him. Go hit him."
No, but
Jesus
the
Christ,
funny thing is like Cormier's announcing that fight, and he's going, Arlovsky's got a speed advantage here. And when he said that, I laughed out loud because I'm like, dude, everybody's got a speed advantage over Dante Mays. You know, like that guy. I think he was actually birthed while his mother was smoking a blunt. You know, like he just looks like he's permanently, like, completely and totally faded. You know, the eyelids are heavy. You know, he clops forward.
He's probably on that good.
I went
Jack
off on
and
a
Wink,
goddamn tangent.
I love some Dante Mays.
It's all good. It's
I
all
love
good.
it.
We're always here for it. And the crotch bender himself always getting slandered. All right. We're moving on. I think
round one, round
be
two plays. Round one, round two plays for sure. Dart throws on that.
Listen, I know Wheezy's got a show coming up at 9:00. This will probably be the last one we get together. So what we're gonna do before he has to make his way, Guru, can you give him his proper exit, and then we're gonna let him break down this fight first.
Get the fuck out, Uncle. No. Dude, seriously, an hour's never enough, and you know what I mean. 10 hours probably would never be enough. We'd be guys sitting at the bar and just we'd go all night. So hopefully one day we do get to do that, man. But we just have to break down fights again soon, man, because it's an honor to always have you on, and we have a great time, and you're literally one of the sharpest in the biz. So we love working with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys, and you always just need to ask. You know, I'm around, so I'm ready to break down fights with you guys, anyways. But yeah, this one's a fun one, dude, and this is one that like actually got me a little bit on tilt because I was saying on Stat Diggers on Sunday night that I wanted to bet the fight doesn't go to decision here because they had priced the under 1.5 at, let me see where they had it here. At about plus 135, with a 42% implied probability. So usually you see about a 17% increase between the 1.5 price and the fight doesn't go price. Well, these pricks open the fight doesn't go at minus 325, which is 34% more expensive than what they had the under 1.5, and what is the bookie telling you? They're like, we don't want your fight doesn't go to decision action here. And here's why. When this thing's on the feet, Semi lands bombs, dude. This guy drops, he's got 10 UFC knockdowns, right? And Preston Parsons, he's got a pretty bad 52.5% distance striking defense. This dude's very hittable at range. And Parsons is a pressure fighter. So it's not like Semi's going to have to wait to set up a sweet counter. This guy's going to be coming at him the entire time. And those big bombs are going to be open. But also, Semi does not have good takedown defense. It is only 50% on 24 attempts against, and he gets held down when he gets taken down as well. Parsons is a guy who's very aggressive with submissions when he gets to the mat, arm triangles, rear naked chokes, and when he's on the bottom, he's looking to set up his triangle armbar series as well. So I think that wherever this fight goes, either Semmelsberger or Parsons is going to be very dangerous, and that there's a very high probability of a finish here. We're just going to have to wait for this line to open up at a reputable book where they're not trying to make us pay 34% more than where they have the under 1.5 priced. So I like violence here. I'm picking Preston Parsons, the underdog, to get his hand raised in this fight. But really my strongest lean for this one, you guys, is the violence angle.
I like it, Wheezy. And here's my thing. I actually have a question. So
Yeah.
I think I'm noticing. Are you and Guru rocking the same hairstyle, glasses, and chain combo?
We might be. Yeah, we've got the
How's the bun?
same.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we've got the same bun.
A couple
I've
good-looking
got
guys out here.
very similar glasses to Guru, and I've got the silver chain here. The choke.
Wow.
Well, not a choker, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Mine's my chain's a little longer.
Yeah, a
But
little bit
still.
longer, and it's got the medallion on the end of it. But
I
yeah,
like it.
yeah, we got a similar vibe going here. You know,
I like this actually. I can feel. I like being in the middle. This is like a TB sandwich.
The
I'm
fuck
like,
did you just
I'm
say?
I'm like Guru Wheezy bread. This is crazy.
Good lord.
All
nice.
right, sorry, I had to be
What
weird
the
before you had to leave us. So,
Hey, I
anyways, go take.
appreciate you guys.
Get a little food, take a little breather before you have to go live. Appreciate you so much coming on, and dude, we'll see you sooner than later. And just want to say appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe if you haven't already to the channel. And I appreciate you guys putting in the hard work every week, like I know I do out here in these streets, trying to give great MMA information to the gamblers out there. So appreciate what you guys do, and we'll do it again soon.
Hell yeah, Wheezy. Thank you so much.
All right,
man.
fellas. Good night, everybody. Take care.
You be good, buddy.
All right.
All right, good. Now that he's gone, he took Preston fucking Parsons. No, just kidding. All right. So, anyways, aside from the dick maneuvering, I do have Matthew Semmelberger in this fight. Appreciate all you guys. Hopefully, let's keep breaking these fights down, man. We got a few more to go. This is going to be a pretty solid card that gets us back. And dude, Semi the Jedi. Why not cash a bet for us at -130? I'm agreeing with Uncle Shady. He's got semi -130. And yeah, dude, I mean, it's such a great show so far. Guru, here's the thing I thought about Semi the Jedi here is like he knocks down everybody. And Preston Parsons,
it's his pressure, the way that he pressures people, while it's his best asset, it's exactly what gets him into trouble. He will pressure to point of reckless abandon, and he gets hurt doing so. You watch him in a split decision versus Giles. I mean, I was pissed because I picked him as a dog in that fight. But as I've come around to keep rewatching it, like the letter of the fucking law is damage. And he got outlanded, outdamaged, and they controlled each other about the same amount. So you lose the fight, buddy. That's it. And in this fight, I'm not like, he doesn't have like the best top control per se. It's all via submission grappling. So unless he's like really got Semi stuck in a really tough choke and is able to choke him out of there, like I think Semi's going to get back up, because you see that with the fact that, yeah, he does have 50% takedown defense, but he spent 21% of his time being controlled, which is obviously not great. But then you look, he's also spent 17 of his time in control position. So it's actually really not that terrible for somebody with that terrible a takedown defense. So I honestly think that he's going to crack Parsons. And the only reason why I don't love it, or why I don't think the line is much wider, is that Semi's taking this fight on short notice. But he's got the size advantage by 2 inches of reach. 4 inches of reach and 2 inches of height. So, and he's right in his prime at 31. And let's just be honest, like he's not going to get cracked the same way in return as, I mean, listen, let's be honest. Preston Parsons can fucking swing, and he does it because he swings hard and because he wants to be on the ground, but he doesn't hit as hard as Jeremiah Wells or honestly Uros Medic either. Like that dude fucking is, and it took him till round 3 with a spinning back fist when he was tired.
Yeah. So here's my point: is like,
I think that fight was also at altitude.
Yeah. So Shady Semi survives Wells' ground game exactly. And I just think that Semi's faced such better competition and actually looked like competent. I mean, he faces Jake Matthews, Uros Medic, Jeremiah Wells, Alex Morono, Chaos Williams, and the only person to finish him is Uros Medic in the UFC.
The Hall of Famer Jason Witt, the Vanilla Gorilla.
Well, I was naming the good guys he fought.
So was I. What the fuck? What's wrong with Jason Witt?
Well, here's the thing. So Preston Parsons, he's got similar striking defense to the Vanilla Gorilla. So ultimately, seeing how bad Trevin Giles is landing the jab on him, I mean, Semi is going to be putting this guy down within round 1 and out by round 2 if he doesn't get him out of there early. So I'll take Semi. I'll take him by knockout. But I mean, Parsons shoots in kind of stupidly, and he's been submitted before. He's lost by submission and by knockout. And Semi does have a submission on his record. He's shown to have some top control. He doesn't always one-punch KO guys. So I'm just willing to say he's the minus 130. You should just play the money line. But at the same time, I'll take inside the distance at plus money as well. I still haven't laid it, though. I don't know if I laid it, so I got to look into that. Next up, we got Marcus the Maniac McGee, Triple M coming on Triple C versus the Dream Killer, Gaston Bolaños. This is going to be a good matchup.
This is sick. This
is a sick matchup. Here's the thing I love about it is Marcus's nickname is legit. Like, this dude is going to stand and bang. The way to beat Gaston Bolaños is to take him down and do what you need to. Marcus McGee is not going to do that until he's half dead. And the nice thing is that Marcus McGee hasn't ever been knocked out. So he kind of can rely on that here. It's just at minus 250 at 2-0 in the UFC, 8-1 overall. I just don't trust it enough for minus 250. And he doesn't really have a big size advantage. He's 2 years older. But he is training. I don't even know if he's training out of the better gym. Marcus McGee training at MMA Lab and Gaston Bolaños, a.k.a. American Kickboxing Academy. Javi.
No. Yeah,
Javi's working with him.
No, it's bad.
So, I mean, listen, man. I'm not necessarily on the dog shot of Bolaños, and I'm going to take McGee as the pick because he's probably the more well-rounded fighter offensively at this standpoint. But this dude is going to get into a stupid striking brawl, so I can't. He's in the I can't help but lay the whatever parlay. Or honestly, fight starts round 3, potentially plus money because the over 2.5 is plus 150. Sign me up for a crazy fucking 10 minutes. I'll take that. Give me Marcus McGee and Bolaños to go to round 3.
Yeah, I don't hate it, but not something I love. And I just think to your point, TB, I just feel like the line is about accurate or maybe a
At
little
least close.
steep. Yeah, let's just be honest, okay? Had to look it up. You need the calculator, right? Minus 250, 71%. 71%, that's 7 out of 10 times. Like, I mean, it's dog or pass. That's it. The line has forced our hand. And it's something that we're working on here in 2024. If TB wants to include McGee in his parlay of I've worked all week for this and this I need a little piece, like your little degen play, like go for it. But no, I just don't like at minus 250. I just think that there's other people that you'd want to play. Like Manel Kape is a similar price. Like that makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
Like there's levels to this, and we're not getting sucked in just because we want a piece. So McGee is the pick, but it's dog or pass. On a money line betting perspective. And unfortunately, they're just so lazy with these props. We used to do a Wednesday show and then we would have props, and now we don't.
Yeah,
and
it's disgusting.
It doesn't make me happy. It actually makes me a sad panda.
That's a technical foul. A crazy night.
Yeah, no.
All right, fair enough. So Marcus McGee's the pick. I feel gross playing the money line, so I'll maybe submission prop. Maybe. All right.
Yeah, I like McGee by submission. That's dirty. He's got one career submission, and it was already in the UFC in his debut against Journey Newsom.
Was it Nick? You trained in the UFC or Marcus?
But he's got no takedowns. So you've got to crack Gaston or like put him somehow in a position where you caught a kick or something, and then you submit him. But the submission is live. He's got no takedown defense, and he gets, if you cut right into guard there. I mean, Aaron Phillips took him down and landed in mount, and and then he flipped over in his back and he's got him in a rear naked choke, and Phillips just kind of gets tired and gives up.
We'll say McGee's body triangle is legit. I'm actually going to target submission here. That's my play for this fight. McGee by submission. We're doing it. We found something. It's the grandma's couch cushion play of the week, the greasy submission prop. Bang! But we don't have a line for you because these sports.
So we don't even know how greasy it is.
It could not be greasy.
We need to get onto Bet Online. Can you look into that?
Like we need do I invest in Bitcoin? Like, what the fuck do you have to do? Can
You're
people
the
help me
one-
out? What do
you're the
you
one-
do to get on Bet Online? I'm going to incriminate myself. I'm in a legal betting state, and
It's
I'm going to
not
use Bet
illegal.
Online. Sure, it is. It's
not-
an
no.
offshore book. It's an
Yeah,
offshore
but
book that
they
you have
literally
to.
advertise it all the time.
Yeah,
TV.
but we're in a legal betting state.
Yeah, but you're legally a JB.
All right, fair enough. So we got Ferocious Farid Basharat versus Taylor Double Impact Lapalus. Where did he get that nickname from? I just need to know. I feel like there could be some connotations. Anyways,
What is wrong with you?
so we've got Farid Basharat coming in with a 2-inch height advantage, but giving up 2 inches in reach. But what I do like is that, for the wrestler versus grappler matchup, wrestler versus striker matchup, Farid Basharat still has a 64% distance striking defense, and he still lands, 52%. That's better than Lapalus, who's supposed to be the striker in this matchup. The guys Farid Basharat has fought in the UFC, Damon Blackshear, that guy is legit. And then he comes out and takes care of business round 1 versus Clayton, who moved up weight. Lapalus is kind of undersized. He's got good athleticism. He moves around quick, but I just don't think he has enough volume or knockout power to do it versus Farid. If you're not taking care of business versus Loughran, I don't think you got what it takes versus Farid. But I'm gonna be that guy. I tweeted at you guys December 17th when I placed Farid Basharat minus 170. If you didn't get on the train then you got to find a parlay piece. So you put Manel Kape and Farid Basharat together. That's your parlay. That's your best bet. Parlay of the week. It's minus whatever. Just do it. That's the two guys that I just think have all the advantages in their matchup that they need, because Basharat is not just a wrestler.
I think we got another leg if we need it.
Nah, but I'm good with just this, man. I'm good with
Well,
just this.
okay,
I'm
but
not
some
getting
people-
greedy. I'm not getting greedy. And that's
But it's not-
no,
but it's not
I don't
plus
care
money.
about some people. This is what I'm recommending. We don't need plus money.
We
You
do.
need a winning bet.
We need plus money. I need
You're killing me, Smalls.
it. I think Farid Basharat is going to get this fight to the mat, no matter how athletic Lapalus' takedown defense is. He's going to be relentless to get there because he knows he doesn't want to be on the feet. And what's going to be the telltale sign is his cardio, because Farid loses round 3 to Blackshear on all 3 scorecards. But Blackshear's a much better grappler than Taylor Lapalus. So that's going to be the main difference, I think, in why he won't lose a round. I actually think Farid's probably going to get a submission maybe later, maybe round 2. But the way he choked out Clayton was pretty impressive. He was just kind of relentless. And getting controlled by this much smaller Irish Longren, whatever the fuck that dude's name is. Again, you haven't won a UFC fight. You haven't won a UFC fight, buddy, and it's not your card. I don't have to perfect your name tonight, but it's not your night.
But he's fighting in Jersey soon, and he represents all of the Jersey Shore while being from Ireland.
He's coming to Atlantic City. They just booked him.
That's what I'm saying. He's representing the Jersey Shore. Anyways,
yeah.
Dude,
okay, good job, Abraham.
So shout out a couple people in the chat. Double Impact with Dennis Rodman first, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and then Abraham. Yo, keep pushing, bro. That's awesome. So happy you're back to BJJ class. Keep puking. Keep listening to the pod. Appreciate you tuning in. We hope to give you some comedic laughs and push things along with a couple laughs if you needed help. And then Ray using Bet Online. Is this Raymond? Oh, look at this.
Yeah,
all
Raymond.
right. Yeah,
Goku-san, good.
Cash App, converted, JB it.
Wait, go back to his picture. It's Goku, but his face is that weed? What's his face?
Oh, is that shrubbery?
Yeah, it looks like a little shrubbery. I know my shrubbery when I see some.
Hell yeah, sir. Keep it up. All right, so Ferocious Farid, Starboy Manel Kape. Don't listen to Guru. You don't need
I think we got another leg.
All right, we got
picture is Gene Silva.
So we got Weston WTF Wilson. What the fuck is he doing in the UFC versus Gene Lord Assassin Silva?
Dude, don't talk shit about Wonder Boy's best friend.
Yo, fuck this guy. Come on. Come on. What is he doing
He
here?
is talented.
Now, all right, so here's my thing. This actually could be the sketchy underdog of the week, just
No,
because
it can't.
why is Gene Silva minus 1050? And then you're like, let me go watch
He's
West.
up
And
to
you're like,
minus 1050.
bro. So that's
What?
what it's just because of sketchiness. I think he's gonna win. Gene Silva's gonna win, but please
Because
do
of the
not
mob
put him in
pick.
your parlay of the week. It doesn't do anything for you.
You're gonna put it in your parlay of the week.
Gene Silva, 60 seconds or less, or just don't touch this fight.
Yeah, so we had actually
Gene Silva in under half a round.
we had taken the underdog Kevin Vallejo in the Dana White Contender Series fight. Kid won the first round and then just kind of stopped throwing. Got kind of frustrated with Gene Silva's style of like kind of in and out of range, pop shotting, and just kind of being generally violent. Then he started mixing it up to the body, and that was really annoying because he's constantly kicking at the legs. But Weston Wilson, there's just really not much to show for it. I mean, look at his wins. His last 3 wins are against a guy that's 9-19, 4-3, and 8-5. He wins all 3 by round 1 submission. It's just not really an option here. The dude's never been submitted. So good luck, my friend. I just don't I don't really see his path. And if we're just being honest, if we're calling a spade, Gene Silva's getting a step down in competition compared to his Dana White Contender Series fight. And that's why the line is what it is. But by all means, don't fucking play it. What you play is Gene Silva by finish, Gene Silva by KO, Gene Silva by round 1 KO, right? Or
Under half a round.
Yeah, under half. I mean, he got finished by Brito in over half a round. So, be careful.
All right.
Right?
Yeah, I'm
So-
just not going to bet this fight.
Listen, if they give me a plus 300 or something on a round 1 KO, I'll take a stab.
It's going to be like minus 200.
Exactly. Well, so minus
Yeah.
200. Yeah, you're probably right. So no,
I'm probably right. It's minus 1050. So we
Yeah,
got
but
Nicholas
that's a triple parlay. Come on, man, give me some plus.
Nicholas Iron Moda plus 275.
Iron
Thomas.
That's a disrespect to Iron.
Thomas Big Train, the Tank Engine Nolan. We got the fight here that everybody wants to see. It's Nicholas Moda getting retribution for absolutely getting the most lucky non-contest against the one and only Trey Ogden in his last fight. I bet Bogdan Grad against Tom Nolan. I have some regrets, but not a lot. I feel like once Tom Nolan fights somebody, quote unquote, his own size, he'll have it handed to him. But I got to wait for him to fight like fucking Jalen Turner or something. So I'm not going to fade him yet. We'll wait for that moment in the future. But right now, I got Tom Nolan by first round steamrolling the Big Train, Thomas the Tank Engine, first round finish over Nicholas Iron Tracks Moda. He's going to lay down the tracks. Thomas the Tank Engine running over the iron tracks.
Jesus Christ. How many train puns can TB fit into one breakdown?
I'm exhausted. I'm fucking exhausted.
Why are you panting, you fucking
Because
crazy person?
I'm sorry.
That's what I thought it was. I know trains get you exciting because you're literally autistic.
You need to chill.
You need to chill. Trains get you excited. Different kinds of trains too. You know what I'm saying? All different kinds of trains.
As the guru gets us canceled, as we just broke our 500 subscribers, we're gonna need to start a new channel.
All the kind of stuff on YouTube. Come on, man. Anyway, I'm not really sure. Listen, if you watch that Trey Ogden fight, Moda lands 15 strikes. I mean, he's looking like a shot fighter or a scared fighter after getting his block knocked off by Manuel Torres, but his block knocked off by Jim Miller. He got knocked out by Robert Hale. He got knocked out by Antonio Ribeiro. He got choked out. I mean, he's just been finished on top of finished. Big Train is ready to have a big fucking win. So give me Big Train here. And why not stick him in TB's parlay and get yourself some fucking plus money? Because he's going to win. The only, if the little whisper in the back of my head, the only thing that scares me is it kind of almost feels like a Reese versus Brundage type situation. But I think Tom Nolan is better than Reese. So, yeah. So give me that.
I would recommend Tom Nolan if you're doing a round robin, if your whole parlay doesn't rely on him.
No.
So I'm not doing it then.
You
Round
can't
robins are
round
fun,
robin
though.
a minus 345.
Sure you can, because you do it by 2s and by 3s and by 4s. You don't bet them straight.
But it's a 3-leg parlay. I'm adding 1 leg to your parlay to get us to
Nah,
plus
I don't
money.
want it. I don't want it. I don't. TB does not advise. Andre Arlovsky does not agree.
Right. Well, Andre Arlovsky has CTE, so we're not going to listen to him.
All right, so that's actually funny, unlike your other dumbass jokes.
Oh,
Josh,
I'm sorry. Did I upset you?
No, just leave it for the text messages. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
sorry.
That's like there's certain things that people want to hear or don't. But anyways, what we text about is different than what we talk about.
So AIDS is cool, but autism
Yeah.
isn't. All right.
Yes, probably. Probably, if you had to think about it.
Should we put up a poll?
This is the important things we get to a Chronic Combat when our guest leaves during the main card. Anyways, we got Josh the Fearless Van, Guru the Fearless Skeeta versus Felipe the Boonho Boonis Filipino. TP in my bunghole. We got Josh the Fearless Van. I'm sketched out at minus 250. He'll be in my I did too much work this week to not have a little piece to Gen parlay. Josh Van by round 3/decision. But look at Filipino's face. Can you really trust this guy?
That sounds slightly racist.
No, look at him. He's like the look on his face. He looks like
he's kind of
inquisitory, like sketchy.
It's kind of because his face kind of comes to like a point. It's
but he's like furrowing his brows.
Well, look at his because look at his whole. It's because of his face. Look at his whole head. No, look at his head. His entire facial features are like on the bottom half of his face.
It's not his fault. My God.
I know it's like the SpongeBob meme where it's the SpongeBob meme where he's sliding his face.
It's just your face. I just
want to punch it.
Is there anything I can do to fix it?
What happened to the stats here? I guess we had people that didn't have. Felipe doesn't have stats.
Yeah, so they don't generate it. Yeah,
that makes sense. You can't generate fake stats, so that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I respect to everybody in the chat. I'm not going to talk shit. I have more tape to do on Felipe Bunes.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's actually
exactly
what it is.
It's unbelievable.
The Brazilian Tony Kelly. Thank you, Abraham. We needed that right now. It was off-putting. I couldn't figure it out, and it's because you look like Tony Kelly. That's why I'm sketched out. Thank you.
Can you pull up a picture of Tony Kelly?
All right, I'll get there. You go ahead and do the breakdown because it's Josh Van, right? But go ahead.
I mean, I like Josh Van, but like I said, I have more tape to do. I think Josh Van's boxing is seriously on a very high level, and I think against Borjas in his last fight, Borjas is a fucking dog, and Bunes is, from what I remember on tape, I have more tape to do. He's a different kind of dog, right? He's getting a knockout in his last fight in LFA, but I don't know. The dude missed weight, and he's not really a high-level fighter at 10-5. Then he's a split decision with a guy who's 13-9. And then we have the Jussier Formiga. What is he looks just like him, huh? You're fucking having a fit. Jussier Formiga, that whole debacle. It's supposed to be 125. Jussier Formiga makes it. Okay, let's do it 135. Jussier Formiga then misses weight at 135 anyway. I lean Van to get it done. I'll probably still throw him in that parlay with Tom Nolan and Kape. And who is the other one? And the other one. TB's gonna tell me. Pull up the picture. You're literally muted like a JB. Still can't hear you for whatever it's worth. You're still muted. And now you're frozen. You're still muted. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I was pulling up the picture. So
but you could talk to us.
No, well, I'm sorry. I was like, my computer kind of froze up for a second while I was already on mute, so I couldn't.
That's the worst picture. You literally had all this time to pull up a picture of Tony Kelly, and this is what
so
you
I
got.
Clicked on the image to enlarge it, and it just totally went to this whole page instead of just the image that I clicked on my computer.
Shocking that you were unable to enlarge something.
Jeez,
that's why you have. That's why you love that Nugenix.
See, that's actually pretty funny. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go to the Tony Kelly, let's just bring you guys on an adventure right now to visit Felipe Bunez's long lost cousin from America.
He
I
looks
mean, what?
just like fucking Tony Kelly.
It's like,
But now
are
you
we
have to pull a
sure?
picture of Felipe Bunes.
All right. So can we get a face? Is there a way to like face these guys off somehow virtually?
Yes, you can. We'll post it on Twitter after the show.
Oh my God. So thank you, Abraham. If you got a Twitter handle, put it in here so we can tag you. If you're not following us already, you're messing up, but you redeemed yourself by giving us this content. So shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. We will post this.
We have the best community, honestly.
It's absolutely fantastic. So, hey guys, listen, I mean, quite frankly, that was it, right? We got Josh Van, we got him round 3 decision, we got all the other ideas, and yeah, it's probably just going to end that way. Good job, Shady, getting that minus 210 in before it ran any further. I think, some people could have caught him earlier. But hey, appreciate everyone here. Somehow we are back to the fights. It felt like an eternity. I'm seeing the oasis at the end of the desert. We made it. Guru's just salty because he's not going to be here with me watching the fights this weekend.
True.
It's very unfortunate, but
you'll be in AC.
Yeah,
having a concert.
At a concert. I'm just saying.
So it's hysterical. My girlfriend said that who we're going to see, Rob Thomas, is she's like, oh, I don't know their songs, and I played a couple songs, and she's like, oh, this is like the type of music you'd hear at a grocery store. I just haven't really listened to it. We're literally walking in ShopRite 2 weeks ago, and Rob Thomas solo stuff came on. And then the song after was Matchbox 20. It was really funny.
So this guy is telling me that he chose to go see Rob Thomas over 2 football games, playoff football games, and the first UFC card of the year. Listen, I JB'd all over him last year by taking the first card off, but I think this one's extra egregious given all the circumstances. So it's okay. It's all right. I know he's going to catch up on it.
You missed like 3 of the first 5 last
So listen, let me fully explain myself. I'm just having my own fun because listen, I know I'm going to miss some other cards.
You were on the Epstein list, so you're going to have
Oh my God. Oh my God. Now we're in danger. No, but seriously, overall, like, listen, I think being a diehard means knowing when to make a few plans here and there, and you're going to catch like at least, like 85-90% of the cards live. So, if there's a few in there that you got to miss for obligations and everything, life happens, but at the end of the day, you got to roast each other a little bit when you do have to miss it. So
I got Andrew Schultz on May 4th. Saturday. Hopefully they don't do a UFC card.
Well, that's better than Rob Thomas, I think.
But other than that, like I don't plan on missing any others at all.
Fair enough. So that's 2. It. We'll be searching, what TB goes to on the leaderboard by the end of the year because I'll probably beat that score. But
dude, you gotta do all our picks from last year. Put that up on the website. We got to look into that.
Yeah, so starting off this year, listen, we got to be real, guys. Like the last year and a half, 2 years. We started this show. I was working at the restaurant. I was managing
during COVID,
managing a local restaurant that wasn't letting people inside the doors. So I was legitimately watching tape all day, hanging out. He was trying to find a new passion. The Guru, got me really into UFC betting. It got legalized in Jersey for betting overall. And it was just like, damn, it was just the thing to do. So the next thing you know, I uproot myself. I start a whole new career. I go back to school, finish my degree this past December. So now you're getting TB scouting MMA again. I feel like I got a little bit away from like my wheelhouse, and I think it's time to focus a little back in on some tape, getting down to some like really digging into the depths of each fight and making sure we're not leaving any stones unturned because I don't have the time or energy to, I got to do my physics homework. I got to do my, systems physiology homework. I got to study for this exam. That doesn't exist anymore. So I just got regular old work, awesome shit, and we're good to go, man. So just happy to get that off my chest. Starting a new year, absolutely fresh. Can't erase past results, but you can learn from them. So get ready for a fucking electric 2024. Quite frankly, I've never felt better vibes. So let's get this shit. Guru, what do you got to close us out with for this amazing year?
Yeah, I mean, I almost think you kind of downplay some of the shit that you were doing and going through, right? You had spent 5-6 years out of school and then come back to like fucking physics, which is like, your least about or whatever, or you would have been able to
physics
do.
Too.
physics 2, right? You weren't able
Albert
to take
Einstein's theory of relativity.
right. You weren't able to take like the warm up, which by the way, guys, I can barely do pre-algebra. Like that's legitimate stuff. So I can't do that shit. So shout out TB for being able to do that kind of stuff. But I mean, doing that, working full time, getting into a relationship, dealing with me, doing most of the heavy lifting of this podcast. And I don't make a fucking slideshow. I don't screenshot a picture. I don't do any of that stuff. That's all TB. So, yeah, I mean, to have you fully dedicated now, you're on a 6-day work week, working 60 hours. Now you're on a 4-day work week, working 40 hours. Life is very different for you. And I'm really happy for you, personally and professionally. And, you know, you haven't contracted the HIV yet, which is good.
It's
and you know, you're staying safe out there in these streets. And yeah, listen, man, we're ready for a brand new year. I'm ready for a clean slate. It's kind of funny because Chronic Combat Conversations is just break even for the 3 years we've been doing it, basically. And while that's consistent, like I really would love to turn a profit this year. I'd love to turn a profit for ourselves. I mean, we've actually turned a profit a little bit on our own, but still, what, 2%, 3% ROI? It's not enough. Like I really would like to separate ourselves from the pack, or fuck the pack. I just would like to be better than ourselves. Exactly. So 1% better every day is actually a lot when it adds up at the end of the year. So let's get it. Don't have a guest for next week yet, but we're gonna figure something out. UFC 297. Where the fuck? 7. 297. Sean Strickland defending his middleweight belt versus Dricus du Plessis in Toronto, Canada. Incredible stuff. Oh, and then you've got the bantamweight title up for grabs for the chicks, Silva and Pennington, the fight everybody's been clamoring for. So tune in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Take care. Stay safe. Listen, and hey, listen, we've got more tape to do. We've got more work to do. We're gonna tweet out a bunch of stuff. We're gonna post a bunch of stuff. Follow us on Picket. Follow us on. Stay safe.